Welcome back. In today's class, we'll solve question 2 from SSC June 2001. Let's move on. So the question says, in the diagram, P and Q are 2 points 15 kilometers apart. Q is on a bearing 94 degrees from P and R is a ship on the sea. The ship is seen from P on bearing 150 degrees and from Q on a bearing 245 degrees. So we are to calculate correct to 1 decimal place the distance of the ship from P and how far east of P is R. So R here is our ship, so we are asked to find how far east of P is R. Okay, now using our coordinates, let's figure out the bearing of P, Q and R. So Q is on a bearing 94 degrees from P. So I'm going to take a bearing from north to east 94 degrees. So it implies that here is 94 degrees. Okay. Next, we are told that the ship is seen from P on a bearing 150 degrees. And we know our ship to be R. So they said our ship is seen 150 degrees from R. So we know here to be 94 degrees. We simply take 94 from 150 degrees. So 150 degrees from 94 will give us 056 degrees. So this implies that the angle here is 056 degrees to give a total of 150 degrees, and from Q on a bearing of 245 degrees. So from Q, and we know that this is our ship, so we know R to be our ship, and we're told that the ship is seen 245 degrees from Q. So let's take our bearing on Q. We move from north to east 90 degrees. We move from north to south 180 degrees. So we move an additional 65 degrees to give us 245 degrees. Our angle here is 245 degrees. So on the point P, we have from this point to this point to be 150 degrees, and we know from north to south is 180 degrees. If we take 180 minus 150, we're left with 30 degrees. So it implies that this angle here is 30 degrees. And this angle here is alternate to this angle. So we have here to be 30 degrees. So here we have a 65 degree here. And it's also alternate to this angle. So we have here to be 65 degrees. Here is a total of 95 degrees. So to find this angle, so on P we have from this point to this point to be 94 degrees. So it's also alternate to this angle. So to find this angle in the triangle, we simply subtract 94 from 65 degrees. So we have 9, 2. So we found this angle to be 029 degrees. Now let's move on to solve our question. So in our diagram, we know the distance from P to Q to be 15 kilometers. R is facing this side. So this side is a small r, while Q facing this side is going to be a small q. P facing this side is going to be small p. So our first question says we should calculate to 1 decimal place the distance of the ship from P. So we're asked to find the distance of Q. So we know PR to be Q. We know PQ to be R, equal to 15 kilometers. So we're asked to find the distance of Q. Now using the sine rule, we know to be b over sine b is equal to c over sine c. So our parameters here are quite different. We have b to be q over sine q is equal to r over sine r. So at this point we'll cross multiply. So we have q sine r is equal to r sine q. So here we don't know our q. We have our r to be 95 degrees from our diagram is equal to, and our small letter r here is 15 kilometers. Sine our big Q is 29 degrees. So we have Q to be equal to 15 kilometer sine 29 degrees over sine 95 degrees. Divide both sides by sine 95 degrees. We divide both sides by sine 95 degrees. So we have our Q to be equal to 15 multiplied by 0.4848 over 0.9962. So we have our Q to be equal to 7.272 over 0.9962. So our Q is equal to 7.2997. So asked to correct to one decimal place, and we know how to do this to transfer 1 to 2 since 9 is greater than 4. So our Q will give us 7.3 kilometer to one decimal place. So now we'll have the distance of Q to be 7.3 kilometer. So therefore, the distance of the ship from P is equal to 7.3 kilometer. We are not done yet. Now we've gotten the distance of the ship from P. So now we have to find how far east of P is R. So we have to find how far east of P is R. So this is our location of R, and this is our location of P, and R is our ship. So we want to find how far east of P is R. In this case, we are moving in this direction towards R. So this forms a right angle triangle. So our question says to find the distance. So let's call the distance x kilometer east of P. So remember, on a right angle triangle, that these are hypotenuse, these are opposite, and these are adjacent. So I asked to find our adjacent. So using the SOHCAHTOA rule, we are looking for the adjacent. We are going to use CAR. CAR here is adjacent over hypotenuse, and our adjacent is x kilometer, and we know our hypotenuse to be 7.3 kilometer. So now we're going to look for this angle, and we know that on this coordinate, since we've gotten this side to be 30 degrees, we know that here is going to be 60 degrees. We simply take 30 from 90 degrees, cos 60 degrees. So to find x is equal to 7.3 kilometer cos 60 degrees. So x kilometer is equal to 7.3 kilometer times 0.5, When you use your calculator, cos 60 degrees is 0.5. So we'll have our x kilometer to be equal to 3.65 kilometers. Hence, the distance of R due east of P is 3.65 kilometers. And this is our final answer. Thank you for watching this video. On our next video, we'll solve question 3 on bearing and distance.